What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of what the fuck is going on in news and entertainment. I got some topics here. Now, some of these topics have been out for a while, probably for at least a week or so, and I haven't gotten the time to speak on them. I'm gonna speak about them in this particular podcast. Okay, so make sure you get the likes up. Okay. Now, I want to shout out everybody who supports me through Patreon, through donating through the live streams, or just whenever you see videos and you show support by donating. I appreciate all that. I know some people say that I don't speak up or address the people that really support me. I'm always speaking about people who may be trolling or say things that I may not agree with. No, that's not true. I try to show support to the people that supports me the most, and I do reward the people who support me the most. Okay. You know what I mean if you're in my streams. But anyway, first topic is going to be about Adrian Peterson. He's the former Minnesota Vikings running back. He was released from there. He went to the Saints, signed a 2-year deal. That didn't work out, so they traded him mid-year to the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, and then he ended up getting injured last season. Now he still remains a free agent. He's over the age of 30, and when running backs get to their 30s, a lot of these teams aren't checking for them like that. Okay. But since hasn't been doing much during the season, I guess he was taking the time to get up with his side pieces. So this particular side piece decided that it would be a good idea to put him on blast. Okay, now from TotalProSports.com, it says Adrian Peterson SideChick exposing his cheating ways by releasing DMs. Okay, he's not playing and being injured from much of the 2017 season clearly gave Adrian Peterson a lot of time for the activities. The free agent running back is hoping for a team to take a chance on him, even though his last 2 seasons have not been very good. In the meantime, the former Viking star has been running through some cheeks and hitting the hole that doesn't belong to his wife. And the fact was exposed when his side chick decided to expose his direct messages. Now, I think this is going to be labeled the side chick season, because you have a lot of side chicks who are going to be extremely lonely throughout this particular part of the year, because it's spring and it's becoming summertime, and a lot of dudes are going to be spending time with their girlfriends and wives. They're not really going to be giving these side pieces too much of their time. This is when you see a lot of these chicks trying to expose dudes. You know what I'm saying? For the simple fact, especially this being the off season in the NFL, a lot of these guys with their families, they're not on the road, and I feel like this chick right here is one of many who they feel like when a guy is really never going to leave his wife or girlfriend for them, and when they realize how single they are, what'll happen is they will watch a motivational video from some other thizot, and they will get the idea in their heads that they have been wronged, that they need to sort of become good again, instead of being a thought trying to deal with a married man. They want to clear their conscience, so to speak. So in clearing their conscience, they feel like by putting these guys on blast, that's a way of clearing their conscience, because a lot of these guys don't talk to them very much, and they feel like a sexual object. Well, if you are dealing with a married man and he's married, you've always known he's married, and you deal with him, no matter how many times you try to put them on blast, you're always making yourself look worse, because you're still going to look like a homewrecker. This female cannot say that she did not know he was married. She knows he's married, and she got with him anyway. They were even talking about his wife in the DMs, and I'll put a link to that in the description box. Y'all can go and check out the messages. So she knows he's married. She cannot use the excuse she did not know. I know it's a lot of women use that excuse, and I think they only use it because they know that people wouldn't be able to know if they're telling the truth, if they knew that the girl knew she was married. Anyway, her name is Heart Malone on Instagram, and she deleted the post. And she was also the same female that exposed Adrian Broner, so she's used to exposing these guys. I really think that this chick thought that by sleeping with these dudes, that they were all of a sudden going to leave their girlfriends and wives just to be with her. And when they don't leave their girlfriend, and when they don't leave their wife, they feel some type of way. So they want to put these guys on blast. Because I guess because they're sleeping with the guy and the guy isn't paying their bills anymore. He may have paid a cell phone bill, maybe gotten their hair done. You know what I'm saying? But he's not, you know, he's not buying them no house or buying them no car. They feel like they're getting nothing out of the deal because, truth be told, I hope a lot of you athletes understand this. These women get with you because of what you have and who you are, not because they're actually that attracted to you or they want to build a life with you. For the most part, it's because of what you have and what they could get from you, you know. And the fact that she's putting this on blast just lets y'all know this chick is probably a bit mentally unstable. She's probably very lonely. She probably lives with people, you know what I'm saying? And she's tired of being used as a sexual object. And I will say this though, I've noticed that it is mostly brothers that are getting put on blast. The only other non-black dude I've heard get put on blast was what, Chandler Parsons, I believe. He may have been the only one, but he's putting chicks on blast. But he's the only one has had DM drama. You know what I'm saying? Porzingis of the New York Knicks, you know, he tried to get with a chick from Instagram and got turned down. But it's mostly you brothers. It's because these women don't respect y'all. And I told y'all this. These chicks have literally no respect for you, no matter what your occupation is. They have no respect for you. That's why they put you on blast, because they know they can put you on blast and you're still going to be in their comment sections. You're still going to be DMing them, trying to sleep with them, trying to date them. They could literally say that they don't want to date black men again, and then they'll still have brothers out here trying to date these women. Just because they got a small waist and a big chest, you know, big hips, they still trying to holler, you know, especially at these racially ambiguous females. These racially ambiguous females, and I'm not trying to go on any colorism tip, these racially ambiguous females have a monopoly over these brothers, especially these athletes, and those are facts. So they know that if they, you know, if one situation doesn't work, they know that 2 or 3 other brothers are going to be waiting to date them. They know this. Until these guys smarten up and realize that these females, if you're not getting anything out of that situation, they're going to put you on blast. You need to understand that. So I don't think Adrian Peterson's wife is going to leave him. This probably isn't even the first situation of her knowing that he's cheated on her. I think that she's probably doing this in an attempt to try to mess up his marriage, and then hopes that he will then get with her, because there are women who think like that. There are women who think that if they ruin one relationship, that it will open the door for them. They end up being wrong. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And ESPN reporter Britt McHenry, she said that she was demoted because of race. That's her thing. I didn't make any videos about this, okay? But I want to speak on this because I wanted to talk about basically how, as a conservative as she is, I'm not a fan of Britt McHenry. Let's just say that, you know, she was filmed on video disrespecting this woman and talking about how successful she was. Like that video of her going off on the tow truck lady, exposing herself for being selfish, for being one of these social climbers, these elitists without all her pounds of makeup. It just showed the type of female she is. And the fact that she identifies as conservative just proves my point that you have these conservative chicks that really, there's nothing really conservative about them except for their me first, and that they believe that everybody is reverse racist against them. Now, this could be true of ESPN because ESPN for the most part, does not like white conservatives. We know this, okay? Maybe even black conservatives, okay? But let me just speak about this article from Hot New Hip Hop. It says Britt McHenry transition from sports media to right-wing commentator may not seem like much of a leap, with the state of journalism being what it is. In a Twitter conversation played out in real time, the former ESPN reporter offered her take on her tenure with the sports media giant. She has since deleted the tweet after seeing it pick up traction rather quickly. It says former ESPN reporter Britt McHenry says that she was demoted at the network because I was white, before eventually being fired in Twitter posts. I'm not saying that she's wrong, because again, look at the change that ESPN has done. They've gotten rid of a lot of conservatives, and people knew who those conservatives was. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, I think that ESPN being so blatant about their left-leaning push has turned a lot of paying viewers away. That's why they're trying to change it, but it's a slow change. There's still race baiting here and there, but for the most part, I could see where she's coming from as being a conservative. But I think that Britt McHenry was probably an a-hole to a lot of people, just off of the video I saw of her going off on the tow truck lady. So I mean, you know, to me, I think this is just her basically explaining away why, you know, she was fired. I just think that Britt McHenry need to understand that ESPN was going to make certain changes, and they did not see her in the plans. You know, look at all of their sideline reporters. None of them are blonde hair, blue-eyed reporters. I mean, what's her name? There's one, but they put her on college football. She's heading that. You had Erin Andrews, who was there. She's gone. And you now have Britt McHenry. Now she's gone. They want a more diverse looking, you know, females as sideline reporters, or, you know, people who are reporting on football or basketball, whatever. And they did not want her to be the face of that. You know what I'm saying? And it probably were other factors that played into it, but I just believe that there is some truth to them getting rid of people who have more conservative mindset. But she's more of a sideline reporter. She's not at ESPN's headquarters on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? She's just somebody who draws a check from them because she reports for them. But mostly, I believe she's on the road. She's not really on their particular campus. And the thing, and I also just want to say this is my final point, but I also believe that they probably felt like ever since they gave her that light suspension for going off on that lady, that tow truck lady, I think they've been getting flack for that ever since. And I think they were just waiting for the opportunity to let her go. And I don't think she's gotten over that. I don't care how conservative Britt McHenry is, as much as she bragged to that tow truck lady about how she's successful and how she works for ESPN, if ESPN offered her a deal today, she would go back. She wants to be at ESPN. Okay. She doesn't want to be, you know, on a right-wing sports, you know, website, or a right-wing website, because she wants to be a star. She wants to be Erin Andrews. You know, she wants to be that female who everybody views when they're as far as being a sideline personality, which is what they're now, well, I call them for sideline personalities. So she wants to be that, and if they offered her a job today, she would go back. That's where she wants to be. And I think this was her emotion. That's why she deleted the tweet. If you're so conservative and you're so free of ESPN, you would have kept that tweet up. You deleted that tweet because you want to go back to ESPN. That's all I'm saying. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about that Britt McHenry thing, and let me know your thoughts on that. Let me get to this story. This story was sent to me about 7 days ago, and I'm just now getting to it. It was sent to me through email. This brother wanted me to speak on it. I'm going to speak about it now. All right. Former Duke basketball star Wendell Carter's mom likens NCAA system to slavery. Here we go, comparing everything to slavery. But as soon as Kanye West say slavery is a choice, y'all offended. But y'all compare everything to slavery. Y'all, you know, according to ESPN.com, it said in an emotional address on Monday at a meeting of the Knight Commission on Intercollegiate Athletics, Kalia Carter, mother of former Duke basketball player Wendell Carter, compared the current system of the NCAA basketball to slavery and a prison system. Now, this is the same system that has produced millionaire athletes, that has produced, you know, highly educated guys who took advantage of their education. They didn't go to college just to go to the NBA or the NFL. They wanted a degree. Okay? So they used athletics as a way to get themselves in a position, okay, to be more successful. But she's saying that she wants to compare it to slavery. This lets you know this person is not that intelligent. Slavery and prison is two different things. Okay, slavery, for the most part, you're either born into it, sold into it. You know what I'm saying? But prison, you are responsible for you being there. You put yourself in that situation. Okay? Now, you do have men who are convicted unfairly. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people getting in jail or in prison because they're constantly getting in trouble. Let's see. She said, when you remove all the bling and the bells and the sneakers and all that, she said, you've paid for a child to come to your school to do what you wanted them to do for you for free. And you made a lot of money when he did that. And you've got all these rules in place that say he cannot share in any of that. The only other time when labor does not get paid, but yet someone else gets profits, and the labor is black and the profit is white, is in slavery. Let me just say this, man. Some of these people, man. And she raised this guy, Wendell Carter. Let me just say this. Have any of y'all watched these ESPN college selection shows? How many of y'all seen those shows? I've seen them for years, where you will have high school athletes who've done nothing in college yet go on TV and have this big old celebration of going to college, aka slavery. Their family is there, their coaches are there, people at their school is there. They're having a celebration about going to college. So how can you compare that to slavery? When I hear intellectual laziness, it just bothers me. Anyway, you're celebrating going to college. You're celebrating going to make that university money. Okay? You're celebrating that. And the difference between college basketball and college football is that in football, you have to be at college for 3 years, right? To be eligible to be in the NFL, to go to the NFL. In high school, you only have 1 year that you play in college and you can go to the NBA, or you can play overseas for a year and then you can make yourself eligible for the NBA draft. Okay. That's how it works. Obviously, what this woman is talking about is intellectual laziness, something she heard from somebody else. Okay. These high school athletes could choose to sit out, especially in basketball. They could choose to go straight to play in the EuroLeague, you know, for a year or two and then make themselves eligible for the NBA. They don't have to go to college. If you are not a premium high school athlete, you can choose to go to college for 4 years and get you a degree that is paid for. Now, I will say this though. I don't believe college athletes should play for free. I believe that there should be some type of stipend, like a student loan that they don't have to pay back, that they get every year. They take that money and they spend it on non-college related, as far as, because some of these guys live off campus. So to pay rent, to buy food, you know what I'm saying? To put gas in their cars, you know, for that type of stuff. You know, that's what the money should be used for, you know. I don't think they should just play for nothing, you know, because these universities, because NCAA makes billions of dollars. Let's just make it real. Let's get it real. Their TV deal with ESPN is a multi-billion-dollar deal, okay? And they are making that money off of athletics. But y'all got to understand, they do spread that money around. They spread that money around to all the different sports. They have to, you know. So I do believe that these players should be given a stipend. They could either give these players money every semester or every year, or they should, you know, have it to where they play at school for 4 years and then they are given a certain amount of money that has been accumulated through the revenue sharing of these colleges that are given to these athletes. And they can do it by sport. Whatever sport makes the most, those players get the most. Whatever sports are making the least for that college, they get the least amount. Something like that, some kind of scale. Now, I know that would open up a Pandora's box of over emotional people who are like, we should be getting just as much, but you're not bringing in just as much, you know. Let's see the rest of this article. The Commission on College Basketball addressed important issues related to the NBA draft, enforcement, and grassroots basketball. The problem is it offered little in way of clear-cut answers. She said, to be honest with you, she said, it's nauseating. With her voice cracking at times, Carter humanized an otherwise agenda-filled morning that focused on reactions to the Rice Commission's recent report and the troubles that have plagued college basketball for decades, forcing the push for real reform following a highly publicized FBI investigation this past fall. Donald Remy, the NCAA's chief legal officer, said the goal is to have the recommendations of the Rice Commission structured so they can be implemented by next basketball season, saying this is not the NCAA as usual and work has already begun. Carter's message, though, was that the societal and race-related problems that plague many athletes and their families run deeper than anything that could possibly be changed by August. Carter, who played basketball at and graduated from Ole Miss, paused to collect herself and her thoughts as she told a crowded conference room filled with mainly white high-ranking university and NCAA officials about her grandmother and mother working in cotton. Oh, come on. But you got to understand, they're working in college fields by choice. They choose to work those cotton fields, okay? I have relatives that worked in cotton fields. They did it because they were getting paid to. And they made it to where you could go to Ole Miss and play basketball and graduate. This would be even harder to say in the crowd, but I can say it here, she said in a hallway following the meeting. It feels intentional. It feels like it was built this way intentionally. I can't move that from my thoughts. Should the NCAA be removed? Yes, because I don't trust it. Of course, remove the NCAA. The NCAA is organized, it's structured, it has its issues, but I would rather have something than have a bunch of disorganized chaos, you know, because that's what some of these people want. They either want a cut of the money or they want chaos. Let's just be real about it. You're not to be trusted because your intentions are clear. Let's call this group in the middle. Let's call it something else. Let's put some real reform in there. Like okay, it's always people who don't know anything about politics, really. They're talking about reform. Let's see. Let's talk about real reform in there and call it something different and get rid of the current status quo because it's based on indentured servitude. Now, mind you, I'm not the biggest fan of the NCAA. I do think that they are heavy-handed. I think that they put student athletes in a tough spot because a lot of these guys come from very impoverished backgrounds, okay? And if they even accept, you know, food from somebody, that could be an NCAA violation. So I can see them trying to make changes there, and they should allow athletes to be able to get money from other people. Like, say this, for instance, let's say this. If the NCAA does not want to pay these athletes, okay, what they should do is allow other people to pay those athletes. Allow boosters to pay those athletes. Allow, you know, family members or people who are related to them, local business owners. If they want to fund these athletes, let them do it. You have a cap number amount of money to give them and allow them to do that. Say they can only accept money during this time of the year when you need, you know, food, or when you need to pay on a space that you're renting, you know, to put gas in your car, to buy clothes with, you know, if you don't want to wear school, you know, clothing from, like, let's say if you're an athlete, you know, you wear a lot of gear from, you know, the training room, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, or from the equipment room. So I could see that, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to pay them, allow other people to pay them. I'm pretty sure boosters, because there's a lot of wealthy boosters at these schools. These boosters got money. They will gladly fund these athletes. They will gladly give these athletes money. But the NCAA is very, very strict on what these players can get, because the NCAA wants to control every dollar. So that is my disagreement with them. That's my biggest issue with them, is they want to micromanage these athletes. But other than that, I don't really see why they need this overhaul. I think it's just a bunch of people who don't have their hands in the pot, but they want their hands in the pot. Former Duke star Wendell Carter's mother slammed NCAA. Let's see, I'm reading something else. Carol Cartwright, president of Emeritus of Kent State and Bowling Green and co-chair of the Knight Commission, said Carter had a very strong point of view. We appreciate that, Cartwright said. Provide a forum for her to express it, and we have had similar personal and passionate points of view that have been expressed before. Carter, whose son Wendell declared for the NBA, Carter, whose son Wendell declared for the draft on his 19th birthday and is expected to be a high pick in the NBA draft, said there isn't enough support in place for most student athletes to make the transition from college to pros. Well, if you're on, let me tell you something, man. If you're only staying in high school for 1 year like your son did, your son stayed in college for 1 year. Okay, so if there's nothing in place for your son to understand the pros, then he should have stayed in college longer. Simple as that. You don't hear this with football. I'm sorry. You don't hear with college football athletes, they're saying there's not enough in place to have them prepared to play. Do you know why? Because they stay in college for 3 or more years. They stay in college. Okay. The coaches will invite ex-players, alumni, to see those players, to speak to them. They have evaluations, you know what I'm saying? They have scouts talk to them. Also, you got the NFL Rookie Symposium. There are things in place there. I don't know if college basketball is that much different, but it must be. But if your son is 19 years old declaring for the NBA draft, I don't know how much in place you think is going to be there for him. But trying to fight the NCAA when your son went to Duke, I mean, you should have told, if you felt that way about the NCAA, you should have kept your son out of Duke and then had him play overseas. That's all I'm gonna read. Wow, this already been long enough, but y'all can gist of what I'm saying, but y'all can let me know what your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on these topics. Just let me know what y'all think, man. Give me your opinions. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like this video. Make sure that you share your thoughts, even though, you know, just say good video or good podcast or whatnot. Share it. You know, continue to support the platform. I'll see you next time.